Right.
Don't be so impulsive.
Hey, get it together. Don't make me be a behavioralist. All right.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. B is good.
Alright. Hello, my name is Joshua Pridgeon. I'm doing music therapy with early development. For the history or background, during the 1950s and 60s, therapists began applying music therapy techniques with children. They were mainly working on developmental delays, speech and language challenges, and emotional and behavioral disorders. Music most often offered like non-verbal, engaging ways to promote growth where traditional therapies were less effective at that time. Later on in the 70s and 80s, music therapy became more research-based with this population, and it became integrating into educational type areas, which we'll talk about later, promoting young children's growth. Techniques were developed to support the range of that by using communication, motor, and social. Influences, the popular ones are Nordhoff Robbins and the Suzuki method. It was emphasized to create development power and musical engagement with clients in a non-way of other therapies. Music influences may aspect as a human life and behavior by emotional, cognitive, motor, speech and language, social, learning experiences, and emotional well-being. Those are the common ones with this type of population. We see this in parents raising children. A lot of the things you listen to or a lot of the key models for children are in song form, like ABC, 1, 2, 3, lullabies. All that is already in their life, so it was proven that you can keep using it and it has effects that is positive to the kids and the clients, and that helps shape them. Some of the popular domains will go more in depth later, but speech and language, working on vocabulary, sentence structure, and articulation. Motor skills, working on coordination with gross and fine motor. Emotional and development, helping them express feelings, regulate feelings. Social skills, group music therapy often helps with turn taking, awareness, cooperation, and also you can use nonverbal techniques through that. Also, cognitive skills, musical patterns, it helps boost memory, attention, problem solving. That can help them later on in life. Music therapy did offer enhanced children's overall development also with lullabies. Children's songs are designed to support speech development and task learning while providing the client the right developmental tools, and that's crucial for their growth. Quickly, we'll watch a snippet of a video.
My name is Stephen Sanford and I'm head of music therapy within paediatrics at Chelsea and Westminster Hospital in London. We've had a music therapy service within the hospital for about 15 years now. We take referrals from paediatricians, doctors, psychologists, OTs, physios, looking at the needs of children in relation to their communication needs, their social needs, emotional needs, developmental needs, and we work with the child and the family where there may also be associated needs such as postnatal depression, substance abuse, problems with attachment with the child, and we help facilitate improvements in those areas. We all have music in our lives. It surrounds us, it fuels us, it helps us make connections with other people, it gives us enjoyment, and it's a fuel for life, music. You could put it like that. What music therapists do is they take that raw power that music has and use it within clinical contexts to help support physical, mental well-being.
Throughout that, you can see they're working with kids, they are able to use it, and there's a lot of common goals that was previously stated, working on turn taking, and also it's not just always about the client, you can help the home life also, with drug use and everything, working with that, you can help them through that with music therapy, working with kids. Collaboration with special needs also is a huge part of it. You can work with their IEPs, which is individual education plans. In Texas, as of 21 and 22 year, Texas reported there was 11.3% of Texans that is enrolled in special education services, and music therapy is a way to help them. You can help with socialization, self-expression, communication, and motor goals. Regardless of all of that, you can work with individual education IEPs, and with that you can work in classrooms or not. You can also work integrated, working with one client and a big group. Not all of them have to need music therapy, and you can see growth in the whole client. I've observed that, and some observing, luckily, times I've been able to observe, but working with clients, even if it's not the whole class, using integrated stuff, music therapy with them can be great. Also, one thing to add before we go to the next slide is IDEA, the special education settings with that. Under the Individuals with Disability Act, which is IDEA, music therapy is a recognized option for those schools. So they have already recognized us. Let's do it. Let's get in the population of working with early development. Music therapy engages children through activities such as singing, instrumental play, music and movement, songwriting, task analysis, and emotional expression. These activities are designed to capture attention and encourage participation while working on any set domain. Using music as a medium allows the therapist to create dynamic, interactive environment that promotes all of these types of domains, especially the sounds, rhythms, melodies that most kids have in their earlier lives, and we can use that. These activities are designed to capture the attention, and while we capture their attention, we can work in whatever domain. Secondly, we'll have another short video.
Tequila. Sorry. They're gonna do it. Oh, yeah. That's what's up.
So that was a short video. A lot of those domains that we previously talked about or about to talk about, that is some in real life clinical videos of that. That's somewhat what I'm talking about when I don't have clients around me. That is what I'm referring to. And all that was working on confidence, working with the clients to be able to make decisions that they can use to improve their life, working with teamwork. As you saw, there was a group of them. Not everything's me, myself, and I, and sometimes it's hard for kids to recognize that, is that there's more in this world than just them. So working on teamwork, leadership, resilience, regulation skills if things don't exactly go your way, and then building those relationships. Intervention types for this, you can work with gross and fine motor coordination and independence. For this, you can it also affects cognitive functions, working on motor with attention, memory, educational goals like math, reading, writing, grammar, and while also working on the speech domains. Through musical play, children also develop an understanding of rhythm, structure, and both having cognitive and emotional growth. Now we'll get our last video of the day. Sorry to avoid some of the videos right off the start, but it's our last one. video explaining some ideas of how that you can use this. Working on definitely saying hello and goodbye, working on educational purposes like reading, and then also just being able to communicate, even if it was non-verbally, being able to communicate, which is very important. More intervention types with storytelling, being able to tap a rhythm on it while reading, or tapping a drum, tapping anything while reading, focusing on the flow of language with singing, and then intimating sounds and recognizing speech patterns. It supports literacy and cognitive development by combining rhythm and language. While reading activities are often paired with rhythmic elements to engage children more and be able to break down words. Movement and music is another intervention type, working on gross and fine motor, working on outside of the session. A lot of what we work inside the session with motor is for the sole purpose of getting out, or to use an outside of the session. Strengthen muscles, improve balance, and support overall physical development. Pairing that with music has the ability to let it flow, let directions flow better, to make the clients be able to understand and also follow the instructions with a better rate. Responsiveness to rhythm. A lot of our songs, Step to the Right, Cupid Shuffle, all that. You can work with this with clients in sessions and they know it and or they can listen to it. Gives their brain something more than one thing to focus on, and it just tells them. Also working on overall coordination with physical awareness. So my personal ones with this group or this population, lyric analysis, working on writing and grammar. If I can't read it, they probably can't read it, and the teachers definitely can't read it. So working on that to improve writing capabilities. Same with songwriting, working on grammar. You can use music. I've done world music lessons where we were learning history about other continents, other cultures, letting clients be able to learn other than what's right around them is amazing. Letting them learn cultures that is not their own, learn styles that's not their own. And you can pair that in history class if you're wanting to support inside the classroom. You can also pair that with working in the classroom. With adaptive music lessons, I've done ukulele and drum set. Ukulele, having a client is left-handed. If they can't finish the STAR test, what is one amazing way that music therapy can provide strength to finish STAR test and let you lessen cramps if you're left-handed? Learning ukulele. So learning ukulele to strengthen that is something I've done. Same with drum set, working on cross-body and body independence. Being able to walk better, being able to write better, being able to do any life goal better. Musical reading, you can use it tapping syllables out, or the music therapist playing and kind of sounding out words while playing. You have clinical drum improv, working on motor and a lot of other ones. Task analysis, with this population, working on task analysis and coordination through that, and direction following through that is a crucial part. I know a lot of the other ones fall under task analysis, but that was important enough for me to add separately. Emotional mapping with musical drumming is working on regulating emotions, being able to find emotions that maybe they are perceiving that emotion as a different thing. Preparing them to be outside in the world outside of the session. Education goals and integrating with music writing. You can write that like figuring out songwriting, you work on writing, musical storytelling with reading, math, I've done percussion related math, and then world drumming around the world, working on your history. Working that and integrating with that with what they're learning in the classroom is crucial to support the teachers that teach them and us to provide support for that. Like the IDEA and individual, working on that, IEPs, that's what it was, IEPs, working with that, and supporting that in the classroom. So that will conclude the music therapy part, now the music theory part.
All right, Dr. Card, you get to pick your song.
We got Can't Stop the Feeling, We Are the Champions, and I'll Make a Man Out of You from Mulan.
How about the first one? Can't Stop the Feeling.
Perfect. I'm assuming piano or guitar?
I'd go with guitar again.
Okay.
Perfect. I'll talk about it first, and then so this is by Justin Timberlake. The genre would be classified as pop and funk. The purpose is to invoke positivity, positive emotions and energy. It's in the climax of the movie, if you haven't watched the movie, or what I perceive as the climax of the movie. The themes are just positivity, freedom through music and dance, connecting through self-expression, and spreading happiness. The melodic range is accessible. There's some stuff in there, but it's mostly accessible for anybody. It is made for kids, so that might be one. It just overall embodies joy, freedom, community. It encourages listeners to embrace movement and self-expression. It does promote emotional release through rhythm, and then lyrically designed to be universal. It is part of a movie, and it just has that modern pop optimism. Going through the song, most of it starts in G major. This one does not have a key change, so it's all in G major. Mostly going straight through. There's no real cadence points in this song. A lot of it ends on sevens, a little bit of sixes. No real strong cadence points, but there is melody, verse, chorus that leads to choruses that lead to leading to endings and all that. It is a verse, refrain, pre-chorus, chorus, then it repeats back to verse 2, and then it goes through all of it again. And that is it. I will go to this one. Can't Stop the Feeling. It has no particular rhyme scheme. It is the one I chose that didn't have a direct one. If there is one, it is not readily seeable. Some lyric analysis from this, or lyric analysis is, I got this feeling inside my bones, relating to deep happiness and root of oneself. A lot of metaphors of excitement, energy, flying up to no ceiling, that the happiness is unstoppable. We can't stop the happiness. There is some rising in the melody to create energy and create drive forward throughout the song. They use the music to that rising melody to want to make you get up and dance or get up and move, building to the climax of the movie. It is related to feeling, kind of was like you already happy in the line with I got the sunshine in the pocket. You already have the sunshine in the pocket, just get it out and let's start dancing. A lot of this is the same. One thing I do want to mention, rhythmic structure of this is mostly downbeat heavy. There is a couple triplet feels throughout it, and most of the time the triplet feels are at end of verses, trying to push you into the next one, get you up, get you moving, but it's mostly disco vibe, 4 on the floor, downbeat heavy, wanting to drive and wanting you to dance. Working with, it's magical, talking about happiness as magic. We all know it's not magic, but to kids sometimes it is. Bringing the magic of happiness into a session or whenever they're listening to this. It does move stepwise with some small leaps in the voice part. I would say it's more catchy. It's not really just a song for song purposes. It is very rote just to get in your brain and stay in your brain and never leave your brain. It uses individual words to make more measurable use. You don't see really compound words of big densities in here. More of it is just straightforward, root. There's no hidden meanings. It's all just what they mean with wanting to be happiness. That is it for that. Let me play it for you. Inside my bone, it goes electric waving when I turn it on. All through my city, just imagine. Nothing I can't see with you, just dance, dance, dance. Feeling good, good, creeping on, just dance, dance, dance. Come on, all these things I shouldn't do, just dance, dance, dance. Ain't nobody leaving soon, just keep dancing. Can't stop the feeling, just dance, dance, dance. Can't stop the feeling, just dance, dance, dance. Come on. Ooh, there's something magical. It's in the air, it's in the blood, it's rushing on. I need no reason, no need control. I fly so high, no ceiling when I'm in my zone. Cause I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet, got that hot blood in my body when it drops. I can't take my eyes off it, moving so phenomenally. Room and lock the way we rock it, don't stop. And under the lights when everything goes, nowhere to hide when I'm getting you close. And we'll move like you already know. And just imagine, just imagine, just imagine. Nothing I can see with you, just dance, dance, dance. Feeling good, good, creeping on, just dance, dance, dance. Come on, all these things I shouldn't do, just dance, dance, dance. And all that noise doing, just keep dancing. Can't stop the feeling, just dance, dance, dance. Can't stop the feeling, just dance, dance, dance. Can't stop the feeling. Just dance, 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 can't stop the feeling. Just dancing, come on. Can't stop it. 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 Nothing I can't see with you. Just dance, dance, dance. Feeling good, good, creeping on. Just dance, dance, dance. Come on. All these things I shouldn't do. Just dance, dance, dance. Ain't nobody leaving soon. Just keep dancing. Everybody sing. Can't stop this feeling in my body. Can't stop. Got this feeling in my body. Can't stop. Got this feeling in my body. Can't stop the feeling. Wanna see you move your body. Can't stop. Got this feeling in our body. Break it down. Got this feeling in my body. Can't stop. Got this feeling in my body. Come on. That is a song. I didn't tell you to sing, but they told me to tell you to sing. So you chose to sing under Justin Timberlake's Power, not mine. So, but that's what I was talking about earlier. They're just wanting you to get up and dance. I didn't tell you to sing. I didn't prompt you to sing, but the song made you want to sing. I saw people moving. I saw people wanting to sing, and they did sing. That's the energy of this song. That's why it's perfect for this population, because it's infectious. They just want to move. You can pair that with motor goals, or you can pair that with vocalization goals. You can do some songwriting to this, and that is one key part of this that I wanted to make sure to share, because working with that, you can work on that and be able to, it's just infectious. Now you'll have that stuck in your head for the rest of the night. You're welcome. Now we will be going to the music history part. Before I preface that, I chose 20th and 21st century, so really modern. The history background is a little long, I'm not gonna lie, but we're gonna get through it. So music history. In the early 20s, we had piano working with dominant in the jazz and also solo music category. Strings working in orchestra and film music. Trumpet, sax, and trombone being the core of jazz band, big band in the early 20s. Double bass having orchestral film moments, but also integrated into jazz band. You have drum set, which is mostly developed in the 1900s or 19s, but revolutionized and started being more popular in jazz band, big band settings. We do have clarinet being on the scene with popular in swing and jazz, and an acoustic guitar and with folk music, and then accordion used in random music. It was a lot of different genres, a lot of different ways of incorporating We had late Romanticism and Modernism composers breaking away from what we call tonality, key, like normal things. We have Debussy doing Clair de Lune, which is one of their more famous ones. We have Schoenberg using atonal music, everybody's favorite, and 12-tone music. Igor Stravinsky with Rite of Spring, shocked audiences with rhythm, dissonance, and it was a real landmark. In the 20th century, we have a huge shift in our music history. We also have jazz being born in New Orleans. Key artists is Duke Ellington, Charlie Parker, Miles Davis, Max Roach. A lot of these key people bringing in a new form of music. In late 20th century, it was a rise of rock, pop, and electronic music. Electric guitar being most found in rock and funk and blues kind of music. Electric bass started replacing our upright string bass in jazz bands and big bands, and started integrating into rock and pop bands. The drum kit sadly replaced the drum set for more of an electronic sound, and also it made it easier to carry around. Synthesizers started emerging in the 60s and 70s, defining electronic music, disco music like we kind of just saw, and it being the new wave of music. We have keyboard / electronic piano, used in rock, funk, soul, jazz, soloistic music at this time period. Turntables became the primary hip hop instrument in the 70s and 80s. And then samplers started making their way in with the 80s and 90s. And then vocals, we have always had vocals, but we started messing with them. We started using auto-tune, vocoders, and everything else to just make the voice have a different sound in that time period, in the late 20th. Also in the late 20th century, blues and gospel started their roots from rock. Early electronic composers like Edgar Varese used tape instruments. I don't know if y'all have ever heard, but tape instruments is where you record a tape, you mix them together, you cut them, splice them, make music out of it. We started doing that, and that led to synthesizer or loops, like building loops off tapes. Film music started to pop up everywhere, like being more professional or more band related. Definitely with Gone with the Wind. Later on, rock and roll in the 1950s and 60s with Elvis Presley, the Beatles, Rolling Stone, merging with some help with blues and gospel and country. And then we had psychedelic rock pop up with Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, Queen. We would have had another Queen song earlier. Disco funk back into the disco feel with soul in the 70s and 80s. Working with artists being Earth, Wind & Fire. And then we have hip hop in the 1970s with bringing up rap with Run DMC, Notorious B.I.G., Tupac. And then we started having more of a built out electronic and dance music style. And also the modern classicism or modern classical minimalism with like Steve Reich, John Cage, Philip Glass, working on experimentation with chance music, which we have an option to talk about a little later. We have the digital era, we are now in the early 21st century. We started working with MIDIs, using it for synths, electronic and acoustic guitar. It's still relevant in pop, rap, indie, what I just played for you today. Still very used in music therapy. Drum machines, which we started picking up in music therapy with loops. Virtual instruments, which I've personally worked with clients with, working with iPads and stuff like that. You can bring virtual music and clients love it. Very simpler to get into. We did also make more changes to vocals. We started adding more auto-tune, more pitch shifting, pitch bending. Was able to start layering voices also was a key part of this era. And then we started using traditional instruments like violin, flute, clarinet in non-normal ways. And also, in the early 21st century. We have GarageBand, being able to produce music more often. And with producing it, we started having more self-made artists, being able to produce and post on like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Everybody's a musician, is now in the 21st century. And then we started having genre fusion. I brought up some artists, Billie Eilish, Beyonce, BTS, Bad Bunny. All those do modern artists doing fusion. Like Billie Eilish doing like pop and electronic, Beyonce with R&B, hip hop, Bad Bunny with like Latin styles of music with pop and rap. So working on genre fusion, most with artists here, there's no clear genre that's winning. It's just all the genres popped up in the 21st and 20th century, and now we just have a little bit of everything. With that, we do have, back on the musical side, we have John Adams working on combining digital and acoustic for pieces, and use of AI and algorithm type-based interventions. And then finally, working on globalization. Like I said earlier, mixing Latin styles. We started bringing over Latin styles and implementing into our band pieces, into our occasional everyday listens, and having world views more popularized. Some main streams of that is Afrobeats, K-pop, Latin trap, and all this was like globalization, and thanks to the internet for us to have that. All right, now this is the part where I have, instead of 2, 3 options for music history.
Dr. Card, which one would you like to hear about?
Can we do the first two?
Okay. So, first one is Not by Pierre Lenore by Arnold Schoenberg. It was composed in 1912. It is classified as expressionism. It was in the 20th century. This is a depiction of it. It's a little messy, but it is a very clear, and that I found to be the most realist depiction of it. Some of the instruments in it is voice, flute, piccolo, clarinet, bass clarinet, violin, cello, piano. Key features of it was the text was based off Albert Giriard. The theme was dark, wanting haunting types depicts a nighttime scene with like a looming black moth is what I've understood as. More ominous, eerie type sounding. It does use this word right here. I'm not gonna butcher it, but I've learned this, and it is a vocal style where it's like speaking and singing. It kind of goes between, kind of goes in and out. It is really cool if you have not seen someone that does that style. It does have a tonal characteristics, so it does not have a tonal key, and uses canon between instruments to create a layered effect that is not perfectly on top of each other. And it is layered very thick if you've ever heard it. It is slow and heavy. It's like drudging through the night with a big moth around you. It is a landmark in modernism and early atonal music. It has themes of madness, oppression, and characteristic of expressional art. It is used atonal. Now I'm going to be flipping to your handout. I think this is on your section 6. We do have some TMEs based off this. We have compositional. You can work with writing your own version with lines, understanding what it is, writing lines, and being able to record that with your clients. Working on goal areas of self-expression, reflection, cognitive organization, and sequencing. We have a recreative one working on the painting the night sound, as I would say. Working on creating a soundscape and recreating the song in a client's unique way. We have receptive, working on clients with papers and colors, being able to let them draw and whatever comes to their mind while listening, be able to draw it out, kind of talk through that with the clients, and express with some goal areas of awareness, expression, and insight. And then with receptive, the last one, working with the recording of it and being like leading clients, like what's your thoughts on it? What emotions do you understand from these pieces? And being able to work through your emotional understanding, emotional processing, and regulation through this song. Our next one is Sonatas by John Cage. This is date composed, it kind of varies. We don't have an exact date that I was able to find, but it was between 46 and 48. It is the mid-20th century, working on experimental, avant-garde, modernism. If you've ever heard this, how he does it, he sticks a lot of random things in a piano, which is not really great for a piano, but it sounds really cool when you hear it. I've been blessed to hear it, but so all it is if you go to your guide, the left picture shows you where to put everything in the piano. I don't know why he gave an instruction, because like he didn't give the size of screws and washers, so I guess you just gotta guess the sizes, but that is where everything goes in the piano. So he gave you everything. It is an actual piece, but working on chance music, as this would be, or just it does have a tonal center. It is just not the clearest tonal center because you have a bunch of screws and washers tucked inside your piano. It is binary form, so it is A-B. The timbre, if you know what a gamelan is, it is from Africa, or I believe, it's somewhere in Africa. I don't exactly know which continent or which group. But gamelan is a marimba type thing, but they have a thing under gamelan, which makes a rattly sound. The closest A-B comparison to what this would sound like is a gamelan. It does have tonal center, but for the purpose of this, it does not. But it does use harmonic progressions. Complex rhythms, it is not an easy rhythm, it is more complex music with melodic fragments, repeated, shifted, turned over, and this piece is more about timbre than it is notes. It is influenced by Eastern philosophy, particularly the idea of balance and stillness. He does have some writings about it. It is from India, that philosophy. It aims to invoke different emotional states, or moods, or rasas, as a culture would say, following Western harmonic logic. And it focuses on the pure enjoyment of music, not all the notes and gritty part of it. I would say this is complex, but it depends on how far you're modifying the piano, how fast you take it. There's no certain speed. So I would say it's more complex. With this, we have some teamies. I think this is now under section 7. We have Recreative, working with Prepare Piano, being able to make decisions on how to prepare the piano. Working on talking about that, finding sound of percussion, and recreating the style of music in sessions that's not just with a piano. You can also do compositional, working on keyboard, piano, creating their own version of Sonata number 5 for them to record. Working on goals of self-expression and decision making. We have a sound exploration, working with sounds and rules. Let them create something, use a set of rules, and let them be their own creators of that. Working on facilitating sounds, spontaneous or non-spontaneous, planned or not planned music, chance music, working on that. And then receptive, working with while they're listening to it, or create visual arts for it, and be able to express artwork of this song. This is a very chaotic song, if you've listened to it. Working with clients to create what that sounds like to them, and then depicting through that. And that will work on creative visual expression, awareness, emotional perception, and ambiguity. And I believe that is it for those 2 songs, which means the end of my presentation. I thank all y'all for coming.